Hello everybody, welcome back to Mighty Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler and this is Blue-Black Taking Turns. Now this deck is pretty awesome, I won't lie. I love taking turns. You get to take all the turns eventually. You win with Jace these days. It's a pretty nice deck that kind of does something no other deck in Modern does. But this deck, shout out to Daniel Wong, who in his quad sleeved, yeah, you heard that right, 4 layers of sleeves on this Blue-Black Taking Turns deck that he's been playing forever. Made the top 16 of Hartford last week and made the top 8 of Vegas last year with his deck. Definitely a master of the archetype. So when I saw that he was able to top 16 with his blue-black version, including the with the Jaces now, I wanted to make sure we gave that a shout out. Basically the perfect Mighty Modern deck, right? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start by bottoming that expensive card. We just want lands. We have a Dictate to get the extra card draw going. We have the Temporal Mastery to take turns later. I guess we can even cast a Snapback here and bounce this thing for against goblins or some sort. Now we do desperately need to hit lands. There's no way around that, but we'll see how it goes. Here comes a Mock Fanatic, ready to play. And a Goblin Guide. All right, well, we're at least going to get a chance to see the top card of our library here. Please be a land. Oh, it is a land. We did it. Snow Covered Island. All right. So this actually works out fine. We get our land, and we even get a cast to bounce this Foundry Street Denizen, save ourselves 3 life this turn, go down to 18, and now we can just plan on flashing in a Dictate in our opponent's instep. Then we'll have Cryptic Command the turn after that, and on and on. Exhaustion, great card. Actually a little worse against goblins than other decks for what it's worth, because they have so many haste creatures and bushwhackers and so on, but if their mana's tapped, can't do much about it. So we didn't hit a land on that turn, so we have an all-important 3rd land here. We're going to have 2 draw steps, in theory, with his Dictate to hit a 4th land to go Cryptic, which is what I would hope. So we'll see here. We're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage, it looks like. A virtual 8 thanks to the Mog Fanatic, but hopefully we don't get attacked again this game. All right, Gigadrowse is not bad. Virtual 10 does mean we're dead to double Goblin Grenade. That is a thing. Our opponent actually doesn't have a 3rd land either, but okay, here we go. Flash the Dictate at the end of the turn. Basically the best Howling mine ever printed. All right, we'll draw an extra card here. All right, we did it. We hit the land. Okay, so we have a couple options here. I could just play Exhaustion. That's not the worst plan. It is, however, more mana efficient to Cryptic Command them this turn, so I think I'm going to plan on that. Our opponent is going to, they're going to get to do stuff, right? We can't stop them necessarily. This deck has fewer just plain extra turns than some other versions of the deck. But what we should be able to do at least is not take a bunch of damage this turn. Hopefully our opponent doesn't get to attack again. That would be our goal here. Between Exhaustions and Cryptic Commands. And there's a Firebrand. Okay, this is working out okay for us. Alright, so we will... I think I want to go tap all creatures my opponent's control and draw a card here. For what it's worth, my opponent has 2 points of damage we can't interact with at the moment. In the Mog Fanatic and the Mog Fanatic 2.0 Fanatical Firebrand. Fanatical. But alright, it looks like we get out of this turn unscathed, really. See if our opponent didn't even have another land, so that's good for us. Whereas we do have lands now. Alright, looks like we just have to play the Exhaustion here. And for what it's worth, if our opponent plays a haste creature, we actually do have the Gigadrowse to go ahead and get that. We can even Gigadrowse their lands if they leave them untapped, and then we guarantee that our Exhaustion gets them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands in play. And we have a Temporal Mastery at 7. So that's what we're trying to get here. Alright, looks like nothing. So let's see what we can draw. Land for the first one. Snapcaster for this. So Snapcaster Exhaustion is live. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I believe that's the most mana efficient way to play this. And it gives us an attacker. Yeah, Snapcaster is just very, very good. in this deck. You know, I've been resistant in the past in my turn decks from playing Snapcaster because I don't like turning on their removal. But when your deck looks like this, it's just very good. Snapcaster and Exhaustions is a nice way to play the game. All right, we'll exhaust our opponent yet again here. And pass the turn back. So again, it is worth noting they have mana. Hopefully they don't just, you know, rip into a bunch of Goblin Grenades and kill us, because honestly, if they have 2 Goblin Grenades, there's not too much we can do about that unless I wanted to burn the Gigadrowse here. Oh, they're actually going to use the Mock Fanatic on our Snapcaster range. That's totally fine with me. That means we're not at a virtual 10. We're at actual 11. Big difference. They get to draw plenty of cards, though. All right, here we go. 2 mana. 3 mana. All right. Is it a Goblin Lord of some kind? War Chief? Chieftain? Wouldn't be surprised. With Dominaria cards, Goblins might get a nice little boost. I'm not sure. Oh, Devastating Summons. Wow, that was aggro. Okay. That's really bad for us because you know what? Now they get to kick this. They get to kick this Bushwhack. Oh, they don't, though, because they don't have enough. Oh, they do. Okay. Well, it's a good thing we have this Gigadrowse. Wow. Okay. We're going to take 8, though, which means, gosh, we might just be dead to a lightning bolt. Not ideal, that's for sure. Okay. Okay, can't replicate it. I just want to cast Gigadrowse once or replicate 0 times. Well, at least we're not dead. If they have land bolt, we are, though. Or I don't know if they played a land here or not, but the problem is if they get another turn, they most certainly are likely to have a bolt. So we need to hope to have a counter spell or something when we pass the turn back. We do have the Temporal Mastery on this turn at least. And there's a part of the Waterveil even. So, and there's a Time Warp. All right, I think maybe we had a nice series of draws there. I think we're probably good to go now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's just go ahead and fire off the Temporal Mastery. This was close. We needed to draw these cards basically in the order we did. And even then, I guess I'm not convinced that we actually have it fully yet. We'll see. Okay, well that helps. Miracling a Temporal Mastery off the top. Pretty good. Very skill intensive also. Alright, so this means we get the extra one. Yeah, this is good for us. Yeah, there's a Fatal Push right on time. I would like to cast it, yes. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we have a turn after this now. Oops, it was a legendary. Whatever, okay. I can Exhaustion and Dictate. I think that's what I'm going to do here. Because we have the turn after this, so we can set up the longer games if for whatever reason we have to actually pass the turn back, which hopefully we don't. All right, move to our next turn here. Draw engine well in place at least. There's the Jace. Okay. All right, so what do we want? A Jace, part the Waterveil. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can not even party yet. All right. So, gosh, and we're 1 short of Jacing and Time Warping. Yeah, playing that. Okay, let's see. I guess we don't really have much of a choice here, but to try to go about it this way. I'm going to Serum Visions. There's an Exhaustion. Okay. Here's a couple lands. I guess it's fine to keep 1 on top. We already have the Exhaustion covered for their next turn, so, but we do have to worry about getting lightning bolted. That is definitely what I'm concerned about here. I wonder if maybe I should have cast part the Waterveil there. That's possible. That might have been a mistake. Let's see what we draw here. Nothing good, that's for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. We have 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we have 9. All right, so I can awaken this land here. I'm gonna have to fetch to do this. Okay, that's fine. We need to at least, as long as we can at least find a cryptic command, we're going to be completely okay. So, hopefully all this card draw will at least lead us to that. All right, we'll go ahead and awake this land. All right, so now we have a win condition if we can string together a couple more turns here. All right, there's a Gigadrowse cryptic, please. Jace, huh? All right. Well, I guess we play Jace and Brainstorm and hope. Well, we could also just... Well, no, we don't want to Fate Seal them. I guess we just need a Brainstorm. Yeah, that's not quite good enough. Yeah, I hate to say it, but we're probably dead. This is why I like versions of this deck. Now, I think I could have played it a little better, sequenced a little differently. I wouldn't have been able to awaken this land, though. And I went for... I prioritized that over... Well, I guess it just is what it is. We hope that there's not a lightning bolt or a goblin grenade, but I assume that we're dead here. This is why I've played a lot of turns in my life, and the downside to playing these extra colors is that we had a lot of outs there. We could have hit the brutality as well, but yeah. Are we gonna get a turn? No way. Oh wow, we got a break there. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna Gigadrowse this land. Okay, let's see if we can find something here. I guess we may... Well, I don't want to be at 1 because that puts us dead to a creature. Guess we just Brainstorm and hope that it works. Okay, there we go. We finally got there. Found the Time Warps. That was scary close. We actually had to dodge a few things there. But this will do it. Go ahead and crunch on in for 6. Take our next turn. And get on in there for 6 again. Well, it wasn't a Jace win, but it was a win nonetheless. But now let's see if we can take on Goblins, huh? I think I want this... I guess we want Collective Brutality on. I actually don't know what we want. Thing in the Ice, maybe? Chalice of the Void for sure, I think. Honestly, probably Explosives as well. We probably cut part the Waterveil here. I don't think... You know what? Stealing a Goblin Grenade with Commandeer is kind of cute, actually. I'll keep it in there. Alright, Exhaustions are going to be our best friends here. Snapback, I guess, might still be okay. Gigadrowse is a little worse here. We might be able to get away with cutting a Howling Mine. And let's just go ahead and run 2 Chalices here. Because putting it on 1 is good, but it's maybe not as good as you want it to be. Thing in the Ice I do think we want, though. If I'm coming back to these Chalices at all here on the draw, by the time we play it, they're going to be... I mean, their deck's a bunch of 1-drops, so they're not going to be out of 1-drops, but... Converted mana cost. Okay, let's see. You know, the good news, at least, is that we can interact with their board. So I'm going to get rid of this Snapback. I'll probably get rid of one other Gigadrowse, too. All right, we'll give this a shot. I'm not sure if this is correct. I don't know if you want more brutalities or not. You know, against Burn, obviously you do, but Goblins is a little harder because they just go super wide. I will keep this hand, though. The Engineered Explosives are definitely very good here. Yeah, all right, Legion Loyalist. Well, of all the 1-drops they could have on the first turn, that could have been a lot worse for us. Hey, and there's a Chalice. All right, now we're talking. Given that we will be chalicing for 1, well, you know what? This actually works in a pretty cool way. Oops. This works in a pretty cool way, I believe, because the original Gigadrowse would be countered by this, but the copy would not be any of the copies we put on the stack. Worth noting, depending on what they do here, I may Gigadrowse their attacks up anyways, but it is just worth bearing that in mind. If this is a Reckless Bushwhacker, for instance, I will probably be tapping down the Burning Tree just to save ourselves some life. Legion Loyalist, number 3. Or 2. Okay. Creature number 3. I think I'm just going to do this. I don't know if firing this off here is correct or not. But I think if we can just protect our life total at all costs here. Our opponent's down to 3 cards at hand already. And there's the Serum Visions awkwardly. I think I'm going to... This is not easy. We could Chalice of the Void for 1. That means we don't ever get to play our Serum Visions. And I just copied the list directly. That top 16, by the way, in case you're curious. I could also fetch, but I have to shock myself to Brutality my opponent. Although, I do want to do that. The Sunken Hollow becomes untapped starting next turn. I could also just Serum Visions. Or I can just Chalice for 1 and decide that we don't get to cast 1 mana spells, but neither does our opponent. I think I might do that. This is obviously a bit risky. We are turning off cards on our own deck, including Fatal Pushes, including Serum Visions. But our opponent has a lot more 1-drops than we do. And next turn we can, assuming, it depends what happens here, but if we don't take too much damage, then we can just dictate. And this turns off the lightning bolts, it turns off the goblin grenades, it turns off the devastating summons. If all our opponent's doing is attacking us for 4, I'm happy to just basically do nothing here. Continue to do, yeah. So it cuts us off, but if they're unable to really kill us because they can't cast any spells, it might still work out. Yeah, I think we just pass here and go for the dictate on their end step. We just have to get our engine going, and if we can get away with taking only 4 points of damage a turn here, that's pretty good for us. I wonder if I was supposed to board out some of the 1-drops. The problem is all our 1-drops are very good until we have the Chalice. So, all right, let's see if our opponent has a. Well, we seem to have done what we wanted, and that's cut off most of their deck. So hopefully we can just draw into the parts of our deck that do stuff. That land not necessarily going to do that. Jace will though. Wow, I could actually just Jace and start Fate Sealing them, for what it's worth. And theoretically, they can't kill the Jace unless they have another haste creature, which if they did, they probably would have already played. Alternatively, I could just Serum Visions and Collective Brutality. Oh, I can't Serum Visions. Gotta remember that. But I could Collective Brutality. Try to clear the way by taking out the Burning Tree Emissary. And then, we get to get all the value out of it because we have plenty of things to discard as well. All right, so we'll choose our opponent. We'll choose this creature, and we'll choose our opponent again. So we'll discard this and this. All right, so this will remove the Burning Tree. We get to see their hand, and we see that, yeah, there you go. That's 4 cards they can't play. Get rid of the summons, and we even get some life back. So currently our opponent is going to be attacking us for 2, unless they draw something. We can play Jace next turn, bounce a Legion Loyalist, which thanks to the Chalice of the Void, they can't even recast at that point. Our Jace would be on 2, but they'd only have 1 power in play. So they'd have to find a more expensive spell. I think that might be our line here. And then we just get to start ticking Jace up. Depends on what we draw here. Alternatively, I could just immediately just start ticking up with Jace. For what it's worth. I think I like bouncing it, though. Because the thing is, if they draw a Reckless Bushwhacker, they can kick it. They could just cast a spell and let it get countered by the Chalice of the Void, but kick the Reckless Bushwhacker anyways. Or rather have the Surge cost paid on it, at which point it would kill our Jace or us. So I think just taking as much power off the board as possible from them is going to be the right way to go here. As you can see, this is just a much more grindy version of taking turns. You know, the versions of it I've played in the past are all very aggro-oriented. You know, we're going to, you just, in the sense of combo, we want to aggressively combo. We're going to have all these extra turns, all these ways to get us there, and that's it. That's all we're going to care about. Wow, looks like our opponent's actually going to our face here with this Legion Loyalist, so I'd say that's pretty good for us. All right, so we have 6 lands in play. I mean, I have a lot of options here. Gonna be honest, I kind of just want to bounce this Legion Loyalist. Sure. We'll stick to the plan. If our opponent wants to attack us with Legion Loyalist and not Jace, I want to keep them from doing that. Fate Sealing is only half effective because they get to draw 2 cards, obviously. So, you know, if the Reckless Bushwhacker would still, in that case, even if we tick up to 4, would still kill Jace alongside the 1-drop. And there you see why. Ramanap Ruins is a pretty good way to come after us. Ramanap Ruins cannot, however, redirect to Jace anymore. I believe. Each opponent. Oh, it's each opponent. It never could anyways. Alright, so we're down to 6, but our opponent's now tapped out, which makes any exhaustion we draw potentially game over anyways. So, alright, I think that we've probably made it here. We even get to throw down a Dictate, start drawing 3 cards a turn. I guess I could even Chalice on 2 if that was if there was a reason to do that. Alright, there's a Thing in the Ice. That would be a reason not to Chalice on 2 for what it's worth. I'm going to have to fetch here, though. Worth it, I would say. This is also nice. We have this Sunken Hollow. Will come into play untapped. I have an extra turn. I have cards. Let's just start Fate Sealing. I'm going to Fate Seal myself, even. I would like to put that on the bottom. I don't want lands. I just want spells, so... Yeah, that's a nice thing about Jace is, you know, Fate Sealing them is sort of the go-to, right? But in this case, where we know we're about to take an extra turn, draw some extra cards, by bottoming a card we don't need, we actually get a lot more value out of the Fate Seal on ourselves. And now we get to draw 3 cards. We have Thing in the Ice. We have a Snapcaster Mage. There's a Time Warp. All right, we are well on our way at this point, I would say. So we'll go ahead and play the Thing in the Ice here. Don't know if we're going to win first with Jace or Thing in the Ice, but we'll see. Time Warp ourselves. Alright, Fate Seal ourselves again. I will put the island on the bottom, and we will move to our next turn. Yeah, I think it's safe to say we have, in fact, turned to the corner here. There's a Cryptic even for good measure. I would like to put Temporal Mastery on, keep that on top of my library, as a matter of fact. All right, let's go ahead and snap cast the Time Warp. This might prompt the concession from our opponent, if I had to guess. Yep, there we go. All right, we did it. We took down Goblins with blue-black taking turns, and that should be a hard matchup. That's a really aggressive deck that can go wide and get under your defenses and kill you, but the brutality was great. The Chalice and the sideboard was actually a really nice call as well there. So there you go. Taking turns, blue-black, Daniel Wong Brew, that top 16 Hartford after a top 8 in Vegas last year. He definitely is a master of the archetype, and I enjoyed playing it in that one. Thanks for watching, everyone.